Hi, and welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. I'm Moshe Kasher.
And I'm Natasha Leggero.
This is a first for us on this podcast. This is our first guests.
We are very excited about... Wait, hold on. I don't know your last name, Khalyla.
You don't have to say... I go by Khalyla, like Madonna.
Oh, shit.
Or she also has a street name, the Licks.
Oh, God.
You
Is
call her-
that for real your street name?
No, in high school, I thought I was a Mexican gangster because I had a weird identity crisis because
Oh,
I came
cool.
from the Philippines.
I was black.
Okay, well, good. Then you understand.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
So just call her
So
Licks.
it was lit. That was your street name. It was
Please
Licks.
don't.
Yeah.
So that's we got Licks. We got Licks and Bobby Lee in the building.
No, we're
ladies
very
and gentlemen.
excited to have our first guests, Khalyla and Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
They are a couple. They also have a podcast, and we wanted to talk to them tonight and have them take some calls with us.
For sure. But wait, Licks, before we get into the calls. So you used to think you were Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
Although you have more of an excuse. I did feel like people that were like a little bit brown, like could get down with.
You're Filipino, but you wanted to be Mexican?
Well, no, I think that there weren't a lot of Filipinos where I went to school.
Where are you from?
The Philippines.
Oh, okay. So there weren't a lot of Filipinos there?
No,
The
it was...
Philippines is much different than I expected. I thought they had a lot of Filipinos there.
No, she grew up in the Philippines. You're saying it wrong, babe.
I didn't say...
Yeah, you're completely saying it right. You're making a fool out of both of us. And let's say she grew up in the Philippines.
And
Got it.
I came
Right.
to the United States when I was 15.
When she was 15, she came to the United States of America.
And where were you in the United States of America?
I went to a really bad high school, and it was predominantly just black and Mexican. There were maybe 3 white guys
In what city?
in the south of Pasadena. It's called Blair High School. It's a horrible school.
So I thought I was black, kind of, and when I was young, and I got hooked up. This was in the early '90s. I got hooked up romantically with a girl that thought she was Mexican, a white girl that thought she was Mexican, and they were like, "Oh, you guys would be perfect for each other. Like you both are in the middle of a deep identity crisis." And she and I started talking on the phone, and we went out for 2 weeks. We never met. We only would. She lived in San Francisco. I lived in Oakland. We would talk on the phone, and we would dedicate oldies to each other on the oldies station. And then,
But did you guys meet on like one of those party like hotlines?
and I wish no, this was just through a support group for
How'd you guys
white
know
people
you-
with identity crisis.
How'd you know you both liked oldies?
Well, she was Mexican, so she was into oldies, and that's like a thing. when
It's a
you're-
thing.
A lot of them are
We
into
like
that.
oldies.
Is that why they like Morrissey?
I don't know why. I don't know.
Wait, is Morrissey an
It's
oldie?
not a-
No,
No.
but Morrissey loves the oldie. Like
you're talking
oldies.
about,
Like,
like-
Morrissey won't watch movies before 1930.
no, I'm talking about.
Really?
Art
you're like,
LeBeau.
Hey, it's Art LeBeau, and
Art
we're
LeBeau.
sending this one out. This is Smokey Robinson's
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. This one goes out to Licks over in South Pasadena.
Like the Manhattan Shining Star. That was what Art LeBeau would always play like
Oh, yeah.
every hour to the hour.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you guys for coming.
And Moshe and I usually take this time to discuss our fight of the week, but now we don't have to do that and get into an actual fight. So we would love to hear if you guys have had a fight this week, or if not, maybe you could go through your core issues.
Well, they're general themes, right? That, we fight about the same kind of thing.
That's a core issue.
Right.
Yeah.
So the real issue of our problem is something that I don't think I'm really fully able to talk about
Okay.
Got it.
because it's sexual based.
Oh, erectile dysfunction? No, you told me about that before. You hit me up on the DMs and were
Yeah.
mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's generally our fights derive from me and the way I live my life. And the way I live my life is so unhealthy and not good for somebody that's active and a part of nature, and she loves hikes and the beach and the whole thing.
And Bobby, you're taking that on like it is your fault?
It 100% is my fault because I don't like any of those things.
Have you ever tried? You don't like it if you go to the beach?
How many times have I floated in the lagoon in the Philippines?
A couple times.
When we go to the Philippines, I'll float the fuck in a lagoon, bro. And check it out, right? Tell them what I was doing in the Philippines. Laying on my back, and I would fall completely asleep, floating.
Like he was like in a self-deprivation tank.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we'd lose him because he would just drift away with the current. But fully asleep.
My body is so fat that I can
never
just
come
lay
back.
on my back and completely float, and I can fully fall asleep. So she was with her family, And they go, "Where's Bobby?" And where was I?
He was about maybe a quarter of a mile out into the ocean.
Is that for real?
Yeah, yeah. And
fully
I had-
asleep.
Wait, but that's not a deprivation tank. That's the
That's
ocean.
the ocean.
His ears are submerged, so he probably can't hear much.
Right.
So we're screaming like, "Hey, you're being taken by the current!"
Yeah.
And he's just
It's like a riptide.
comatose.
Did you have like half a tan when you finally got out, where only the front part of your body was browner?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. They were like, "Oh, look at this! It's just another Filipino fellow," and then you turn around like, "He's Korean! Get out of here!"
Yeah.
But Bobby, what did that experience do to you? Did you love it?
Well, no, I'll partake in situations like that, but she knows I'm only doing it for her. Okay.
Well, and that's, I think, what it is that he constantly reminds me of what a sacrifice he's making.
He's like,
That
I could
he's-
be in my sweat box of
Exactly.
a bedroom right now.
Instead of this beautiful lagoon in the middle of nowhere. You know,
I could be in a valley in Red Dead Redemption right,
Right.
now and not wasting my time in the great outdoors.
How far did you play in that game?
I finished it. Yeah.
I finished it too.
Oh yeah. But
do
I
you
didn't
mind
finish
it
like you.
when he plays video games?
Well, Moshe has not played video games for a while, but when he was into this video game, he had all the internet in our house changed so that he could get internet back in his video game bedroom. And now I can't get internet in our main living area.
I play video games pretty responsibly, which is I play maybe 3 a year.
But he gets
Right.
very
And
into
when I
it.
play, I really get into it, but it takes a lot to grab me.
That game is the first game where I literally felt like I was going to cry.
Yeah.
Because when Arthur Morgan, he dies.
Please stop.
Wait,
No, let me just stop.
yeah, she doesn't want you to spoil the video game for our listeners.
No, it's been out for a while. And
Wait, who's Arthur Morgan?
He's the main guy that you play with.
Oh my God.
Right? And then he dies in the
I'm
game.
sorry, can you tell me what year were you born?
1846.
So the main thing you guys fight about is that you're really healthy, and Bobby, you like to sleep till 4.
And
play
Bobby
video
wants
games.
to like drag her into his unhealthy ways. She
Right.
wants to drag him up to her edifying, nature ways. And I think that probably the answer lies somewhere. You guys try to meet in the middle a little
right,
bit.
but
little bit.
he's. I think that the middle for him is he doesn't know what a middle is.
Right.
Right.
He's like, fine, I'll eat something at a beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very begrudgingly, he'll join me. And he'll always remind me of the sacrifices he's made. He remembered
Yeah.
that one time. But I think that more importantly, I just really worry about his health a lot.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest fights we always have.
Well,
It's like
what was the
yesterday. why
problem
is
I had yesterday?
Why is my shit black? And I'm like, look, you probably
Dude, my shit.
Wait, hold on. I want to point out that you were like, there are some problems that are a little too embarrassing for me to mention. And then
Yeah.
5 minutes later, like, babe, what was the thing yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, I had the rock hard cakey black devil shit. Is that?
Yeah. It's literally like it looked like Delroy Lindo's penis. I mean,
Wait, so it's not diarrhea. It's just
it's
like
a solid piece of black.
But instead of
Shit.
telling, I knew why it was black.
Why
Because
is
it black?
He had been downing Pepto-Bismol.
Look.
And because
my
of the
God.
bismuth in it, it turned his stools dark. But I didn't want to tell him that. Instead, I wanted to scare him and say, you probably have some upper GI bleeding.
Yeah.
We should see a doctor. Because his
She
a
was
nurse?
saying that she
I
is.
was.
okay.
It's so funny.
She's saying I may have internal bleeding in the upper hemisphere of my abdominal
Well, you
area.
just-
the upper lagoon of your abdominal area.
But Bobby, you just pulled out Pepto Bismol. Why do you need to carry that? What is your
'Cause my
diet
tum-tum
like?
hurts.
But what are you eating? What are you eating that you need to?
What did I eat today? I get this thing called Grandma's Coffee Cake, and it's over at Gelson's, and it comes. Your mom loves it, and you
is
know
very
she loves
good.
it,
It's
right?
pretty
It's
good.
very good. It's this gigantic coffee cake that Grandma, because I never had a white grandma.
You mean Gelson, Grandma Gelson?
Yeah, whatever, Grandma Gelson, right?
Wait, that's just like on a Tuesday. You'll just have a coffee cake.
Well,
I'll buy the whole thing.
Don't you try to make it about your like lack of love when you were young? I never had a grandma, so I do have to eat 4 grandma's coffee cakes a week.
Well, I never had a one that was like English speaking and made cake.
Uh-huh.
Right? I had an old shriveled up, yellow Yoda looking lady.
Well,
who
don't
was
they
like my
make
grandma.
cake?
They make like maybe rice cakes in Korea. but
Asians
not-
don't have good desserts.
Oh, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my. What are you talking about?
What's a
We
good-
have the best
mochi?
desserts.
We
Mochi's great. Boba's great.
Boba's good.
Boba's not good.
Natasha, I don't think you're wrong because I think
you.
that Koreans they make good Western cakes. But they have this one with, and anything with like red bean on the inside, I guess, is good.
Do you like a bean? You like a bean dessert?
It doesn't
Yeah, I
compare to like France, though.
No, I will.
All right, we'll give for that France. We'll give it to France.
Yeah.
You're right.
France is out.
We're not France, all right? And we're not who is good with
I think
bakery?
the best desserts: France, America, Italy. I think you can call
Italy
it a
is
day.
great pastries too as well. You're right.
Kind of call it a day.
So
To be
you
fair,
ate a coffee.
to be fair to my people, the Jews, I wouldn't say nailed it on the dessert front.
No.
Actually, didn't really nail it on the food front.
But you
really.
can get it at 4 a.m, and that's why I like it.
That is important.
I can go to Cantor's
At a
At 4
bargain.
a.m. at a bargain.
At a bargain.
You guys do the elephant ear thing. I like that.
Those are good.
Those are so good.
But those are not Asian.
I know they're not, Natasha. But if
Okay,
you go
see-
to a bakery in Koreatown, I think you'd be pleased.
I don't think so.
No, you would.
All right.
Okay, so you had coffee cake, and then what's like a typical dinner for you? Like a hot dog from Carney's or something?
I'll go, hey, babe, get me East Coast. When I say East Coast, what does it mean?
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Meatballs?
No. It's a specific restaurant that's fast foody.
East Coast fast food.
Yeah. So just think it's sandwiches.
You want a meatball sub
in the
from
title
Subway?
in the title of this restaurant is East Coast. It's a state.
What the
Jersey
what?
Mike's.
Oh,
Wait, you're
So-
like a successful comedian and you crave Jersey Mike's for dinner?
You know that town.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that town you just had really hits me in the very wrong way.
you know
Like,
what,
I feel
Bobby?
like I wouldn't-
I'm married to her,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I will say I'm on your side with the tone thing.
And I'll tell you why, Natasha. Okay, the reason why is because they slice the meat there,
Jersey style.
right?
Yeah.
They bake the bread there every morning.
Sure.
That's what it says on the pamphlet.
That's like how Grandma Gelson used to do it.
And what's your order at Jersey Mike's?
I'll either get a number 3, right, babe, or a roast beef one, or a sub. Anyway, I love it.
And what do you say when
No.
he says,
Well, if I don't get it for him, he throws tantrums though.
well, this is funny to me, your dynamic, because I'm sure people have pointed this out before, but like Bobby's like ultimate man child, and you're like such an adult. It's like hilarious.
She's like his girlfriend, nurse.
mother, grandma, Gelson grandma.
I do better in this role.
Right.
I don't like being doted upon. I don't
She
like.
hates it.
That's good.
So I think that I think it works because he takes it a little too far. I like taking care of somebody, but not to the extent that I have to,
Oh, when he calls in, he goes, I got East Coast poo-poo now.
Like that.
Can you help?
Yeah. You know what? I can sense at nights, like when we're sleeping, she'll wake up and look at me, and I can sense her going, "Why the fuck am I in this?"
No, is that true?
Yeah, it's because she's probably not thinking that, but I feel so bad of the thing that she has to do that I can't believe that she's not thinking that. Because she used to date professional soccer players from
we're all
Spain,
duds.
rugby players, like professional rugby players, like buff dudes.
You're a fascinating person.
You
You're
are.
very cute. You're extremely talented at what you do.
Yeah, you're up there, man.
And you're fun.
You're like the rugby player of Jersey Mike's Diners.
And you're dynamic. And I've never known you to have a long-term girlfriend. So I'm really happy that you found someone who can flourish
Yeah.
in this partnership.
This is the longest I've ever been in any relationship.
I
6
think
years.
he's flourishing. I'm wilting a little.
Wait. Well, you know what?
I'm dying a slow death.
That's what happens when you're with a succubus. But wait. What about you though? There's no way you're perfect, although in comparison you seem close. What do you do that's wrong in this relationship? What's your malfunction?
I think that
enabling.
No, you can't be
Yes.
about Bobby. I think maybe I help too much.
I mean, I have a lot of. I might be. What do you tell Bobby? What are my character defects?
He's too absorbed in himself.
No,
he
no,
doesn't
no, no.
know.
She does have them.
I have them.
She does have them. I see. Here's the thing. It's just basic. The way you look at life and why we're here is the difference, right? For instance, when we go on a vacation, when you hear the word vacation, give me a word that you think of.
Beach.
Great.
Luxury hotel.
That's what I think.
Well, this is a simple solution.
No, that's what
Get
I
a luxury
no.
hotel on the beach. This is not difficult to
I
do.
know, but what she thinks of, I think of luxury hotel, not moving, great food.
She
not
thinks
moving.
of like an expedition.
Laura Croft.
Yeah.
She
She
thinks
looks
she's a
like Laura Croft.
She thinks she's a fucking Tomb Raider.
Sure.
Let's
sure.
go to the jungle and hike. No,
I already know their situation.
What to talk?
Well, first of all, one thing I found out from traveling is there's two types of vacation.
There we
There's a
go.
beach vacation that's just relaxation. You just chill. You drink if you want. You read books. You don't do anything. You're on a resort. And then
Yeah.
there's a adventure vacation
Yeah.
where you're like in the jungle or you go to Bangkok or whatever it is. You like want to like. There's an itinerary. There's like 3 places to hit up every day.
Oh, and then there's actually
Yeah.
a third choice. There's the beached whale vacation, which is where you get into a lagoon and float out to a Filipino island.
But anyway, I think you need a mixture. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
like for
Right.
every time, like, so you're going to have to bend a little bit and go on like a fun adventure thing. And then you end it maybe with 2 days on the beach where
Ye-
you like zone out and do nothing.
But here's why her way is it could cause me to die. Because we were in Tulum, and she goes, "I know a guy, and we're gonna swim in a free lagoon, right?" So I wake up, my brother's there, we're in our shorts, and there's you just go into like a river, right? So and we're with a guide, a Mexican guide.
Mm-hmm.
And we're floating, and then the guy turns to my brother and I, we're swimming, and he goes, "Don't move." When a guide says don't move, when a guide says no, don't move, it's so scary. He goes, "Look," and there was a boulder to my left, and there's a fucking crocodile.
Sure. He's in the water?
Yeah, it's not, dude.
I
this
wouldn't
is-
like that either, Khalyla, if I
It's
was your
bullshit.
boyfriend.
Are you into
But-
it at that point? Or
Yeah,
Khalyla
but
like, awesome?
It's perched on a
No.
mound right on top of it. But he said this is our resident crocodile Pablo or whatever. So I was like, oh, they know each other. This crocodile's not going to hurt, our guy.
Maybe
so
it
we're
was part of
cool.
the experience.
They named him Pablo. He has no idea his name is Pablo. Some dude goes, "Yeah, that's Pablo, the man-eating fucking
He's like,
alligator."
you call me Pablo? I call myself the Korean cruncher.
Yeah, right. So now we have to. I got a selfie, by the way.
Awesome.
I did a selfie, right? But also I think I'm going to die.
Sure.
But it's those little elements where it could go wrong, and I could die or lose a limb.
I think the secret to your success is the country of Costa Rica. I think it's the perfect amalgam of the two things you guys like, luxury and adventure. And
Stay at that luxury hot springs place.
oh man, I stayed at a resort in Costa Rica. It's on a volcano. You could die. But actually, it's funny. In the literature, they're like, this has been an inactive volcano for 200 years, but it could become active at any moment. If it does, you will not survive.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that
like-
the
But it's like a super resort. I mean,
Arenal volcano?
Maybe, yes,
Yeah.
that sounds right. And you're in. There's hot waterfalls that you get in. They're like hot tubs. That anyway, you guys should go. I represent the Costa Rican Tourism Board.
I was in Hawaii with one of my girlfriends. Sorry, babe, Christine.
No worries.
She's not my girlfriend, and she's love of my life right here to my right. But
the love of my life, Christine was. But anyway,
right, and there was a tsunami coming to Hawaii, right? So you hear these sirens, okay? You're scared shitless, and then they put a note underneath the door, right? You know how they give you a bill sometimes when you're staying at a hotel, and it's what to do in a tsunami situation. And I go down to the lobby, no one's working, no one's there. Everyone took off,
Oh,
no, they're
my
all
God.
Skyped in, and they all go, "Don't move."
right? So it's like I could have died there too.
Well, there's death around every corner, but there's definite death if you're sedentary and don't eat well. I want you to be healthy, Bobby.
And also, I think she's up for the challenge. She
Yeah.
doesn't want to date a boring soccer player. They don't make her laugh.
Right.
So she wants to be with you.
You guys
And
are
you
cute.
and I have the same problem.
That's true,
He
for
always
sure.
calls us like Jack Sprat because Moshe wants to go camping and I want to stay at the most expensive hotel I can
Well,
find.
so we have like a thing that we do. I have an RV, and we'll do these like RV trips through
That's
like,
not my first choice,
Right.
to be traveling around in an RV.
But we do these RV trips where we'll go to campsite, and then like on the third day we'll stay at a really nice. We'll get to a city and stay at a really nice hotel for
Yeah.
her.
That's what she does.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think I planned our last vacation accordingly.
Greatest.
Yeah,
That was the
and
best
he
trip.
had-
We went to the Philippines, and she did the best. 2 weeks, 3 days on some remote island, and then when I read that, I go, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna die." But then in between, we go to Crimson Hotel, which I googled. It's a 5-star hotel, and it's beautiful in the mornings. And because we were in a bungalow, we get to have breakfast in an area on the second floor where only bungalow people eat, where the real. And so we had other friends there that couldn't get up there.
They had
Right.
their own peasant buffet.
So I would be down in the peasant buffet, and I'd go. I'm going to go upstairs now, guys.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right? And it made me feel so good about myself.
Dude, when we were on our honeymoon, we went to the St. Regis in Bora Bora, and it was super fancy. I would say too fancy for me.
There was too many butlers.
It's a bungalows in the water.
Yeah, and there was one very funny thing like about elitism where they were like, so we do have this luau thing with a fire dancer, and we definitely recommend it. It's $200. Everything was so insanely expensive. There was a club sandwich that was $90. I'm not joking.
No
it was
way.
$90.
Really? Oh my God.
And they go, it's a $250 upcharge, but you get to sit and blah blah blah. And or you can always eat in our cafe if you don't want to do it. And we're like, oh, it's our honeymoon, let's do it. Pay $250. We're sitting there. Hula shit starts. The cafe is it's connected to the restaurant. It's in the same restaurant.
Wow.
And then the hula thing starts, and the cafe people just slide over, and they have a better view of the hula thing than we do.
This is the kind of thing that makes Moshe very angry.
I'm like, you can't watch. You got to go. Like
You said that out loud?
No. Of course
Like an
not.
asshole?
He was very agitated throughout our whole dinner.
Oh, we could have just stayed right there and watched the same damn hula.
Right.
But the point is, we don't all need to be the same.
That's true.
We should all learn and grow from each other. And maybe if Khalyla focused a little bit more on maybe there's some sedentary things you guys could do together.
Sounds like you guys are finding your groove.
We have. And, I've also said this out loud before that, I believe that Khalyla reinvented my career.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah, I was, dude. I mean, people would go, what? But I was dead.
Bobby, you
career-wise.
always have a weird view of yourself.
I know.
I know.
is
No,
true.
back then, admit to it, baby. Admit to it before these two get on my nerves.
Don't call me baby.
Bobby's the king of coming off stage to a standing ovation and going like, I don't know, they're tight. They're tight. They're not there.
All right. You're right. I do that. You got. Oh, sorry. I gotta just. You're right that I do that. Okay. But
It's cute. It's it's
Thank
better
you.
than the opposite.
But there are facts about my life that I need to tell you about, which is, everybody's career it's like there's just waves. Right?
Sure.
You ride a wave for a while. Sometimes it's short. I just got off of a wave because my show got canceled on ABC.
Sorry.
And it's okay. But 2 years, I rode a nice wave. It felt good. But I didn't catch a wave for years. Literally when I met her. So when I met her, the reason why I went all the way to, she lived in Long Beach. I went out there is because I'm like, you know what? My life is going to be different. I'm not going to chase my career anymore because it's dead. So what I'm going to do is I want to fall in love.
Aww.
Right. So then,
That's so mature.
when I met her, she was she would force me to go on auditions because I refused to go out on them. And one time I said I was going to go on and I never read it because I knew I was going to bail. So that morning she wakes me up. She goes, all right. I go, I'm sick.
I want East Coast. I want East Coast right
I
now.
want East Coast. And she goes, you're a fucking pussy. Get in the car. We drive to NBC, right? And we're in the car, and I'm literally going, I don't know it. I don't know the signs. You're going to make me look like a fool in there. You know what I mean? And she goes, I don't care. If you go in there and they kick you out, that's all I want you to go and try.
I think we pulled over because I we were
We did.
it was
got
such
physical.
a heated. It wasn't
It got-
quite physical, but
It got physical, babe.
and we were
Okay.
arguing, screaming at each other at a park. Right.
So then what I said was, I go, I don't get these ever. And I'm going to go in there. I'm going to read it off the page. And I'm going to look like a fool.
I love how you were like, watch this. I'm
Watch
going to
me
bomb
fail.
so hard. I'm going to bomb. I'm going to humiliate
So I
myself.
go in and it's, you go in the lobby and it's 80 dudes in there that all of them.
Sure. They've all stolen roles from you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not just, the part that I was playing wasn't even for an Asian guy, it was for any comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw Eric Griffin, I just everyone there, right? And I walked in, I just go, they go, I didn't say hi, I just go, and I say it off the page. I put it in my pocket, I don't say goodbye. Right? I go into the car and I go, I told you! With tears well up in my eyes. I got it.
That's beautiful.
Is that your ABC show?
No, it was it didn't air, but I did an NBC pilot called What's it called? Problem child.
It just didn't get picked up.
You know, that's a beautiful story, and it makes me think like, you know, these waves. This is going to be corny. You guys ready? But these waves that you focus on in your life that you think are actually what your life is. These career waves, these success waves. You know, you think like I'm riding this wave and this is my life, and then it of course eventually crests and lose energy and it's gone, and you go, my life is over. And when you find something like love, or you find something like recovery, or you find something like a life, you realize like, oh, this is what the ocean is made of, is all this other stuff. The waves are just a movement on top of the ocean, but like my life is the sea.
Well put,
man.
Moshe.
That was good.
Let's take some calls.
Let's take some calls. Let's see if we can dole some of this relationship.
Are these
advice
live,
out.
real calls?
Yeah, we're about to do some calls right
Okay,
now.
cool. Exciting.
Okay, we're about to talk to Elizabeth in Washington, D.C.
Hello,
Hi, can I speak with Elizabeth, please?
this is she.
Hi, Elizabeth. It's Natasha Leggero and Moshe Kasher, and we also have some guests, Bobby Lee and Khalyla.
It is you guys. Hi.
Yeah, it really is.
She seems
Elizabeth,
so excited. I love it.
how are you?
The enthusiasm. Hi.
Hi.
Elizabeth, what's going on? What are you doing?
Well, I am 30 years old, living in Washington, D.C. And I have a question.
Yeah, we got answers.
Should I break up with my boyfriend?
Oh,
Should I
snap.
break up with my boyfriend?
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you want to break up with them?
Well,
That's not good.
we've been dating for like 2.5 years, and basically he is never in any sort of conflict. He's very like cerebral, and I'm very emotional, and like what's worked is that we're so different. And but we literally have never fought. We've never had any kind of like conflict or anything. And it might be that like he just cares about certain things and doesn't care about other things, and that's just how he is, and maybe that doesn't work for us. But
This is an interesting...
he's also like he's genuinely good person, and I really like love being around him. But you know, when you look into the future and you're 30, it's like
I want somebody I can fight with until my old age.
exactly.
Wait, what? I don't understand. This is a first for our podcast where someone is upset because they don't have enough conflict in their life. Why do you want conflict?
Because I want
Passion?
Do you equate conflict with passion?
maybe.
Sounds like you're kind of horny for somebody else. There's a lot of like breaths.
Yeah, Elizabeth, how's your sex life?
Not good.
Okay, so it's
Why?
not-
Why? Is it him? Is it you?
you don't want somebody to
Wait, I
beat
wanna
you up.
hear.
You want somebody to beat the pussy up. Is that basically what's happening here?
He's never been good at keeping it up.
Oh.
Oh, well,
Wait. He's never good at what?
keeping it up, your problem.
That's not
I don't have a
Bobby's
problem with that, friend.
Bobby
Jesus,
can
my
fuck.
shit works. You know what I mean? I fuck good, bro. I'm pro.
Obviously, look at his wife.
So wait, I think he's got a hard time just being sexual, period. Is that
He
right,
can't
Elizabeth?
keep it up.
No, like physically keeping it up.
Does he
Like,
have an issue?
I don't know because
Do you think he's gay? Do you think he has his sexuality is correct? I mean, in terms of what he likes.
no, no, he doesn't. No.
Okay.
So wait, I'm confused, Elizabeth. You have you've been with somebody for 2.5 years, and I don't mean to roast you too hard here, but you've been with somebody for 2.5 years. He has a hard time keeping it up, but you don't know why. Have you never talked to him about it?
I've tried to, but there's different ways of both of us being satisfied. He can get there in a a combination of ways making it happen, and I can get there in a combination of ways.
But he's not like fucking you.
No, I was a virgin when I met him.
No,
Whoa.
So she kind of thinks this is normal.
Yeah, wait, but I'm stuck on the last thing. I understand what oral sex is, but I don't understand why you've never asked your partner of 2.5 years, like, how come we don't have intercourse?
I mean, we do, kind of.
Or for more than 12 seconds.
What do you
I
mean,
guess.
kind of? What are you talking about? Does he have a penis?
He stuffs it in, I guess, in it.
Yes.
He's,
Yes.
Oh,
my
oh,
God,
he
I didn't
probably
know I was
sticks
calling
all of
like
it in.
Dr. Drew.
With the penis and the nutsack and everything?
Oh, yeah, great question. Bobby has a question, Elizabeth. Does
Yeah.
he put the nutsack in as well?
Yeah, everything in, huh?
No.
Stuffs it.
The penis.
Hey, if you want some conflict, just grab his balls and stuff those in and see what he says.
Yeah. All of the pubes, the whole thing. You know what I mean?
But honestly, let me ask the two boys here. Would you guys like be? I mean, like, what are you supposed to say? It's like he can't get it up.
Well, it reminds me of a story, Elizabeth. A friend of mine was dating a girl, and they were newly dating, and he kind of liked her. And the next morning after he went out with her for the first time, he's like, "So that was a weird date." Basically, she has something wrong with her vagina where any penetration whatsoever is super painful, and she just can't do it, and has gone to specialists and won't ever be able to have sex ever. But everything else is on the table, and it became almost a party game of like the ultimate deal breaker question. Like, you can never have sex, but you can have anything else and a person you were really into. Would you do it?
Wait, let me see. So a woman's vagina, right? This woman, when any penis goes in there, it's so painful.
She couldn't have penetration.
What about my penis? What my penis?
You should call her. I don't know.
This is an actual like condition.
You think mine could hurt her?
Maybe.
I don't think so. My shit's cute. It's like a live action minion. It's like really cute.
Wait, Elizabeth. Sorry, we started ignoring
Yeah.
you. Is he horny?
Yeah.
So he's really horny, but when it comes to
and we both like have a combination of like, oh my God, I didn't know I'd be talking about sex. I thought I'd be talking about emotions.
well, they're all connected. I mean, it's deeply connected, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think basically at a certain point he has trouble keeping his erection.
Right.
And so do I say like, you need to go to a doctor and
Well,
yes.
Absolutely.
Unless you're not into him, because
But
if you're not into him, then you can just like get out of this.
That's true. You
Yeah.
could get out. I mean, here's the secret to talking about erectile dysfunction from my extensive personal experience with it is, first of all, the only thing to say in the moment is, it's okay, I don't care. But that doesn't mean you can't have a conversation when you're not in the moment. You can the next day say, hey, we've been together for 2.5 years and we only do the stuff the banana trick. Like, what's going on? I want to have sex with you. Can you go to, Khalyla, you were saying, yeah, go to the doctor.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something that can be fixed, why not get there immediately, right? Like if I'm a young man, I would want someone to encourage me and say, hey, you know what? This is something available to you if you want to keep a heart on, if
Right.
it's interfering with your sex life.
Oh, so Khalyla is very good about, and this is why I love her. Is that a lot of my relationships? I would have to say all of them. Right? There are always things that were uncomfortable to talk about, so we just never talked about it because I'm not good at
Right.
confrontation when it comes to stuff like that. But she's great at it. Like if we have a problem, she's very good at. She'll look at me with teary eyes sometimes, and she goes, "Well, this is this situation, and how come we're not dealing with And so I love that so that I can try to act like I'm a part of the human race.
And that's intimacy.
It's intimate,
It is,
yeah, when he does that. She does that, yeah.
And I'm going to call, I'm trying to be gentle with you, but I'm going to call bullshit on the fact that your boyfriend is the one that's passive in this relationship. It sounds to me like you're also very passive and conflict avoidant, because a person that isn't conflict avoidant wouldn't have avoided the most pressing, literally pressing conversation for your entire relationship. You would have said to him at this point, what's going on with our relationship? Why don't we have sex? This isn't normal.
we do have sex. He comes, I come.
No, I know, but we don't have intercourse. I get it. He's the pussy-eating king of Washington, D.C. I know. But if,
And also, you were a virgin when you met him. So, maybe this relationship has run its course. That's another thing. If you're really feeling that, then that's kind of a different thing. You don't really have to put him on the spot.
I did ask him about it once, but then I also thought about wow, Natasha's really nailed it. I asked him about it once, and that's really what I wrote in about, was that these kind of conflicts, he doesn't seem to think anything is enough of a problem to do anything about it.
Right.
And all these other things I was thinking of are exactly like this.
right.
I think I can relate to that.
He doesn't even seem to think they're a problem, because ultimately he comes. Ultimately, I come.
Yes.
Ultimately, it's fine. And he's very, very, very happy. And
But what about you?
I get her now. I get you, Elizabeth. I think that I feel that oftentimes in my relationship, maybe not to the extent that you're feeling, but when it comes to my emotions and when it comes to conflict, Bobby's someone who wants to sweep it under the rug, apologize, and then just call it a day. Whereas I still have a lot to unload. I want to unpack. I want to, get to the nitty gritty of it. And he just doesn't want to even engage with me in that way. And I think that can become increasingly frustrating, especially when you have a lot on your chest, a lot on your mind, and you could be someone with, even to have a heated debate with Bobby is damn near impossible these days. He thinks it's an affront. He thinks it's an attack to his, being.
Yeah.
So, and then I've just sort of I've taken a back seat and said, okay, you know what? Like, I'll just maybe talk to somebody else about it, which is not healthy either.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Khalyla. I'm sorry because I know. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I get what you're saying all the time. Everything that you say to me when you're real and you look at me in my eyes, I know what you're saying. It's this thing is that number one, I'm a slow learner. Number two, growing up, my parents didn't speak English. Right? They only spoke Korean. My brother and I don't speak Korean.
Wow.
So I was never taught about expressing yourself or being real or upfront, right? Everything was like hide everything underneath the rug, right? Let's just move on without dealing with it. And, I've been in many rehabs in my life, not a lot of institutions. I'm a fucked up guy, and I grew up, I've been molested and, I sucked a couple of penises and, I tried different things,
You tried being molested and sucking a couple penises.
Yeah, I did.
You tried it all.
I tried everything,
Yeah.
right? And what's so funny?
Well, it's just the way
It's
you.
funny to say you try being molested. Like you
I tried
clearly
it.
tried the penises, but it's not like you wanted to be molested. But
I did. I wanted to try it. And I didn't like it. You know what I mean? It's too aggressive.
So, but you're on a. Well, here's the difference, though, Elizabeth. It sounds like the difference between Bobby and your guy is that Bobby, as rudimentarily as he and Khalyla, it's your relationship. So you tell me if this is true. Bobby's trying. He's on a journey, and you feel like Elizabeth. Maybe your guy's not on a journey
I'm
with
on a
you.
journey.
you are Bobby.
I'm on a journey.
Is that true, Elizabeth? It feels like you want to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your partner doesn't.
He's completely happy.
Right.
And
you,
I am.
And you're like, this isn't enough for me. And
Right.
so that is telling me that you need to
Yeah.
move on.
yeah, and we say this a lot on the podcast, but like Elizabeth, you deserve to be with someone that you can communicate with. You deserve to be with somebody that has sex with you in all of the different ways that people have sex. You deserve to be happy. And the fact that you called and your first question, my first instinct was you called and said, should I break up with my boyfriend? My first instinct was nobody calls this podcast and says immediately, should I break up with my boyfriend, who doesn't already have the answer? I think you know the answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you,
Let us know
Elizabeth.
what
That
happens.
was really good.
Be strong.
Yeah, good luck. You deserve more and you know it.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I think we all feel like, yes, you should find somebody that can make you happy.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck out there.
Thanks.
Oh my
Natasha's like, okay, bye. Okay. Cue the waterworks. Bye-bye.
Well, we have one more, and then we have to get through the.
I felt bad.
I know. That was a hard
I
one.
didn't want to get
She
off the
needs to
phone
dump
with her.
him. I should have
dump
said there's
him.
never a good time to do a bad thing. That's the best advice because it's like if you have to break up with someone, you just have to do it. There's never going to be a good time. Fuck. Can you put that in? There's never a bad.
And let me ask you
good
something.
time to
Have
do
you?
bad
Because
things.
I've seen you in relationships as well before Moshe.
What?
Did you? She's been in relationships before.
Unbelievable.
with like 5 of his friends.
No, I'm not going to say that. But you're a comic. Obviously, we're gonna.
Fuck each other.
I've hooked up with a lot of comics.
Sure.
But the thing is that I feel like you're the one that breaks up with them.
Uh-oh.
The power's always on your end.
But what does that mean? That doesn't. That's just like the past 3 relationships you've known of me.
Have you been broken up with a lot?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
But
just-
also, I'm like, I bet Khalyla hasn't either.
I haven't been.
We're very tolerant
yeah.
people. Like when you're very tolerant,
Have you been broken up with a lot?
He's never even been cheated on. Nothing.
Nothing.
No, me neither. I've not been broken up with. But I wasn't in relationships. Natasha's my first serious relationship.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so funny. When I found out that you guys were dating, it made sense to me, clear, but it wasn't something that I would have bet on. When I found out, I'm like, yes. But if you were to ask me before, who do you think Moshe should go out with? I wouldn't say Natasha.
I have a
Who would it
question.
have been? Oh yeah,
Annie Letterman. I don't know.
somebody more wild.
Yeah,
you
somebody
mean?
wild,
Yeah.
Was that concerning to you that because when I first met Bobby, he had only been in relationships that lasted like a year.
Oh, 2
and I was
years.
always in long-term relationships, like 4 or 5 years.
To me,
So-
a year would have been like an amazing feat.
Yeah.
Really? So
Oh, yeah.
I was concerned that maybe he wasn't a stayer or somebody who could really, see through things, see through like the ups and downs of a relationship. Were you concerned about that?
Well, I think everything's individual,
Yeah.
because it's like, I wouldn't say Bobby was that either, but you were able to draw it out of him.
Yeah.
So it's good.
He tried to
But
bail
were
in
you
the first
concerned?
year.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think he tried to get out of a really petty fight, and it turned into a whole breakup. And I was like, no, that's not how this works. We work through this.
I love that. I'll tell you something that I've probably never told you, Natasha. Right now, this is a podcast exclusive. In the beginning, because I had a pathology around relationships, which is that even though I was working on it, and I'd gone to therapy and I tried to get better, I would panic and I would be like, I got to get out of here. It'd be like a feeling of like, I couldn't even explain the panic. It was like, I got to get out of here now. And it felt like, I always used to describe it as the executioner switch. Like somebody flipped it and I had to go.
Right.
And in the beginning, when I was dating Natasha, I took it very slowly with her because she was a peer and a friend. And I didn't want to we didn't get sexual super quickly because I decided to I didn't want to go there. Anyway, whatever. In the beginning, when I felt that wave of panic hit and it would hit, I would say to myself, this is your pathology speaking. This is this is not real. And then I would just stay the course until I got past that wave. And then I ended up marrying the gal.
I have always liked you, Moshe.
He had a
I
large
really have.
capacity.
I've always liked you.
He had the capacity to be able to have a relationship.
I guess so. But most people who are used to being in relationships don't have maybe the panic that's like run.
He has a panic. We broke up over IKEA dishes in our first year. Remember that? And it turned into this like gigantic thing.
Yeah, and one time I was watching TV and I have a spare room where the couch is, and the door was open in the spare room, but there was no furniture in there for some reason.
Oh, right. That's
And I was watching the news or whatever, and I turn around and she's in like workout gear in the middle of the room, Indian style, sitting there looking at the mirror that's on the closet, and I could tell she was trying to get out.
Is that true? Were you?
I probably
You were
was.
trying to feel yourself into leaving?
She was out. I could tell. I've never seen it before, but in my head, I'm like, my gut says she's out.
I panicked too because I gave up nursing when I met Bobby because he was like, look, if you're not really that keen on it, let's start something new. Let's really chase your dreams. And I'm like, wait a second. You're telling a Filipina that she doesn't need to be a nurse? Fuck yeah, let's do
It's
this.
like, you could work at the TSA.
And
Because her sister is a nurse,
my
her mom's
mom,
a nurse.
everyone's in the
Oh,
medical
so
field.
he blew some wind under your wings.
He really, really
Your
did.
life is more exciting because of Bobby.
Absolutely,
And your
100%.
life is like
More-
just higher
more
quality.
stable because
of
I'd be dead, I
Khalyla.
think, without. I'm not kidding you.
That's really beautiful. That's really amazing that you guys exactly were the drink that the other person needed.
Yeah, I also think that, she might not believe this, but I believe that there is, and there's no scientific proof, right? It's more just cosmic, but I believe that she was supposed to be in my life. I believe that this feels right and that it's just a part of, my destiny or whatever. It might be I'm probably wrong about it, but that's what I feel.
What
that like
romantic. No, that's beautiful.
that we're supposed to be here.
Well, that's the Jack Sprat rhyme, right? As Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, and so between the two of them, they lick the platter clean. It's about it's about wholeness and completeness.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's not just what's the point of one of those rhymes? I mean, that's. I don't think it's a negative thing when people are opposites. It's like if they fit, they fit. And Elizabeth, he
Yeah.
does not fit, literally.
Yeah. Even like the Tiger Belly, she's like, let's do a podcast. Like, fuck no, it's not going to work. No one's going to care. She went to get the equipment. She went to Guitar Center by herself, bought all the equipment, and she goes, fine, I'm doing it by myself then. So she did a couple on her own.
Oh, wow.
Just in
Just
the room.
to bait him in. I
Just to
knew
bait
that
me in.
eventually he would, because he's amazing
At your
on
house, you're in the
podcasts.
other room doing the podcast.
Yeah, but so I would look in there and she'd just be with her little mic and her little, with her headphone, trying to do it, right? And one day I just was like, oh, God, you gotta help her. So I went in there and we did it, and then all of a sudden,
It's a hit.
It's a hit
not just
podcast.
a hit. Like everything in my life completely changed because, like, I could just see I would go to a gig on a weekend, and they'd say, "Yeah, Friday first show sold out. Saturday second show is really light. Sunday there's no one." But like some shows would be good. Now they're all good
That's awesome.
because of Tiger Belly, and because of her, she motivated me into it.
You guys need to have a love child.
We need to get one, I know.
And then, Bobby,
We
you'll
killed
love
two.
him more than
We
your
killed two.
brother.
And you know what? Tiger Belly sounds really awesome.
Thank you.
Let's
Yeah, it
take some
sounds really
secrets.
cool.
Okay, what's the
Sounds
secret,
like a
though?
cool
Tell me what
pod-
the secret means.
Sounds like a cool
You're
podcast.
welcome
Look at how
anytime.
drug
thanks.
addicted. Look at how
He's not even hearing the. He's not even hearing the signal I'm
this is
sending out.
in one pocket.
Can I have one?
Yeah, you know
Wow,
what?
he has
you want
9 vapes. Okay,
now,
I think I see the problem.
But you know what my favorite
Oh my
though
God, that's
is that this
crazy.
brand right here.
Khalyla, by the way, you need to tell him you can only carry 1 vape a day.
I think that would be a
Can't
deal
have
breaker.
9 vapes in his pocket. That is not
So
normal.
what do you want, a Juul, or do you want one of these other fancy ones?
I don't care.
Give her the fancy one.
Okay, these are, you can't recharge these. These last for a long time.
I just want it for right now.
Oh, here, you have a strawberry.
Okay, let's play some secrets while we vape.
We're just gonna play the secrets, and you guys can talk about
So,
them.
Okay.
guys, we have a secret hotline where our listeners call in and they leave their deepest, darkest secrets,
like
and we
that.
don't.
It's in the 2 holes there, yeah, where the 2 holes are.
All right, let's play the first one.
Hi. So I have a story that I haven't really told anyone, which is it's a shit story. There was one time when I was like a couple years ago, I dropped my boyfriend off at his apartment, and then I went to drive home, and I live like 15 minutes from where he used to live. And as I like dropped him off, I was like, oh no, I think I need to take a shit. And I was like, as I was driving home, I was just like sweating, and I was like
I know the feeling.
convulsing because I ended up having to take a shit so bad towards the end of my drive home. And like right as I turned in front of my house, I was like wearing tights and a dress, and I just like diarrheaed like all over my tights and my dress and my car. And I tried to like pretend like it didn't happen, and I snuck away into my house, and I like went straight to the shower, but there were like little shit drops that went through my house, and one of my roommates
Write that
was
down.
like,
That's my new band.
you know what's on the floor? And I was
Shit
like,
drops?
oh, I don't know, but I'll like mop the floor. And I just shit it everywhere. Because
Oh my God.
I don't have health insurance, but it's probably IBS.
That's like a
Wait, but-
Thursday for me. I mean,
Yeah, I was like,
Hey, that's your deepest, darkest secret.
That's
You're
your
doing
secret.
good.
And he wasn't even there.
I know. You're doing
I mean,
good.
how many
doing
times have
good.
I shit in myself?
how many times have I had to clean it up, you bastard?
A lot.
Jesus.
How nice to be married to or have a girlfriend who's a nurse.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Natasha and I have been together how long? 7 years? We've never farted in front of each other to this day.
Why?
It's just like not
Because
what we're
Moshe
into.
doesn't know that I've heard him.
Yeah, but have
What?
you? Wait,
Really?
wait. Natasha, if you have to fart around Moshe, what do you do?
I don't fart.
Yeah, you do fart. That's ridiculous. What do you do when you have to fart?
I don't know. I know couples who like shit in front of each other. You guys don't? Okay,
No.
good.
I don't fart in front of him. I don't do any
Yeah,
of that.
we're ladies.
Yeah.
What do you want from us?
Me too, though. I'm a lady. I
Yeah.
keep it in.
What you do?
Yeah.
You know, I was in a relationship where we thought we could be that super cool couple. We would shit in front of each other. And that got old really quickly. And I couldn't look at his face and associate him with sex at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's take another secret.
Hi, I'm a big fan, and I have a few things I want to get off my chest. When I was in 7th grade, I stole a bunch of bars of my mom's Xanax and like drank a lot, and then I tried to burn down my neighbor's carriage house with like gasoline from my dad's tractor.
Pause. Just the juxtaposition between, here's a story I've never told anyone. I once didn't make it to the toilet. And this guy's like, I murdered my father. Keep playing.
Because I thought that was like a good idea, I guess.
He burned down a carriage
It didn't work,
house?
but it did burn down years later, and it was covered in gasoline. One time I peed in the graveyard where my grandma is buried. I'm not proud of that, but I had to go.
He peed on his grandma's grave.
One time I accidentally smuggled drugs through a bunch of, airports and countries by accident. I thought I didn't have them in my bag anymore.
This guy's purging.
Oh yeah, and one time when I was living in Spain, I stole something from a tomb. Don't know how to give that back. I feel bad about it, but
Literally, Laura Croft.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Bye.
All right, he got
thank
you.
you.
Do you think some people are just bad people?
I mean, I love that he was like, "What else? What else? Oh yeah, I desecrated my grandmother's grave, and I stole from a tomb."
Yeah, but bad people don't know that those are bad, so they would never say it. Where I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a good guy, and he does bad things, and
When
that's
he's
why
drunk.
he's so aware of it.
Oh, that's true. Right. Someone who's really bad wouldn't be
They wouldn't use those as as a problem, where they think, oh, that's what I do.
What else we got?
We don't comment on any of these.
Yeah, comment. What do you got?
I just
I
wanna-
don't have one, but I'm just saying. You guys
know,
don't have
feel
any
free.
either.
You know, my great uncle was the original Tomb Raider. That's not a joke.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
He was he would go into these sites and steal certain things, but he was like glorified during that time that he did it. His name is the Pro Rock, Byron Kuhn de Pro Rock.
He was a Filipino tomb raider?
No, I'm not pure Filipino. He's on my dad's side.
What?
Yeah.
She's half white.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, get out. You can't be here.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was a European tomb raider?
Yeah, I think he actually lived in Mexico for a while. I think that was his home
He was
base.
Spanish?
I didn't believe it at first until I looked into like my ancestry and I looked him up and he has a Wikipedia page. I'm like, holy shit, my dad wasn't full of shit, because I used to think he would tell these tall tales about his uncle, and I was like, you're full of shit. That actually doesn't sound even remotely true.
So your granduncle was a Spanish tomb raider.
I don't know if he was Spanish, but-
if his name is what was his name?
Byron
Her
Kuhn
other
de
uncle is a
Pro Rock.
murderer.
Yeah, my other uncle is a murderer.
Well, you got a murderer uncle?
Dude, I went
Filipino
to
side, yeah.
I went to the Philippines with her, right? And she got sick there. She had a heart attack.
I didn't have a heart attack. Jesus.
Your heart malfunctioned.
It malfunctioned.
Yeah. So she was in the hospital, and her uncle, who killed her other uncle with machete, sliced him in half.
Broad daylight.
In broad
Whoa.
daylight. He was in prison for how long?
15 years
15
only.
years.
Yeah.
So he gets out, and I meet him, right? And I love that guy.
Sure, he seems like a great guy.
Honestly, no,
Sounds
dude.
cool.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, it sounds like
And that guy had it coming, your other uncle.
he knows how to have fun, that's for sure. What did your other uncle do?
It was just a money dispute, something really petty, and he thought that warranted a severed spinal cord.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then when Bobby sees him too,
like,
Bobby sees
"Murder!"
my
No,
that's what
I
he
act.
says. He's like, "Bro, you're my hero." He says that.
Like I play into that when I see him. I go, "You're a fucking killer, dude." You know what I mean? Like, and he loves it.
And he's not a reformed man either. Like he's still proud of his feats.
Wow.
The reason why I love Khalyla is because of the fact she has all the things racially that I need.
What's that mean?
Okay, so she needs. I've dated full-blooded Asians before,
Sure.
like yellow monkeys,
oh, Bobby.
the ones that look like me.
Bobby.
that
Thank
too
you for
racist?
saying
You
that.
think
Well, on a
you're welcome.
podcast, it's definitely racist.
Let me say something even more descriptive. I used to date pan-faced yellow
Oh,
monkeys.
stop, Bobby.
All right,
Why are
flat
you doing
faces.
this?
So anyway, in fact, the reason why there's never an Asian president is because you can't put him on a coin.
my
It'll just be
God.
a line,
Oh, Bobby.
right? No profile, just a flat face.
Is
Ching
this
chong.
material you're doing?
Yeah,
right
is it
now?
working? I don't even know if it's working, but it's my
Okay, now
opener.
can we take another secret?
No, but let me just say one last reason why I like her.
Yeah.
But but then I love dating Asians because they'll eat anything. My problem with dating white chicks is that I would go to a restaurant, like a Korean
and
restaurant.
they're like, I don't want frog's legs.
Right. Or they'll go, what is that? Right. And I'll go, oh, it's the shoulder of a meerkat,
Sure.
let's just say. And they're like, gross, I'm not going to eat it. But Asian chicks, they eat it first and then ask, what did I eat?
Well, Filipino.
Right. That's why I like. And then I go, oh, shoulder of a meerkat. Oh, it was good. Can I have another?
Well, Filipinos' food is some of the deepest cuts available.
Dude, that's great. It's a deep cuts about music, but they do
Yeah.
it with food.
they got-
Right, yeah, I love it.
true.
Yeah, they do deep cuts,
They
yeah.
got balut.
A balut
That
is a
balut
deep
no
cut.
joke. I mean, it's they
yeah,
got-
feathers
Yeah.
and the spine
You know what
and
balut
the
is?
eyes.
You know what balut is?
No.
It's a partially fertilized egg. So
I gotta
it's
show Khalyla.
duck
I mean,
fetus.
I have to
Yeah.
show.
Ew.
it's an egg.
But is it worse than pate?
Oh
it's
my
the
God,
worst thing you'll ever see.
it's the
I'll
most
say.
gnarly thing on
And you
earth.
can choose to how far along you want your fetus.
Right.
So you can have a balut pinoy, which is basically just, it tastes like a boiled egg, or you can have the 16-day, 18-day, 21-day.
You can get balut where it quacks at you, and it's like Thuffer and Thuckatash.
Ew.
Should we do another?
Yeah, let's do
secret?
another one.
All right, so I have a secret to confess. I once jerked off
Oh my
in
God.
my car on the highway.
Oh my God.
All right, my name is Shimmy.
Then why do these people leave their names? First of all, but it's also
It
like,
sounds like he wants attention.
I mean, jerking off on the highway. That's just a trick that you do to stay awake on a long road trip. Do you know about
I
that?
did that once.
Truckers do. You did that?
Some guy asked me to jerk off when I drove home thinking about him.
Oh, that's nice.
He did it?
I don't know why I did it.
No, that's cute. But I heard a thing that truckers do it on the road. They don't want to fall asleep, so they jerk off. But the secret is you can't come.
Yeah.
You come, you're going to bed.
You're going to bed, right?
Night.
Wow.
And I did it once when I had to drive from Burning Man back to Reno in the middle of the night to catch a red eye. And I jerked off. I didn't come, and I made it there safe.
I'm glad you said that because the first time I met Steve Trevino, you know who that is? He was living in Houston, and I was doing a show with him, but I didn't know him. And when he picked me up from the airport, I decided to jerk off in his car.
With him there?
He was driving.
Sure.
So I was jerking off, and this is a true story, and he pulled over the side of the freeway.
He does not seem like the type that would be into
No, he was not into it.
Wait, were
He
you
vomited
horny?
it.
He vomited?
He vomited. Then he goes, "Hey, dude, get out." In the middle of the freeway. So
Were
I go,
you
"I'll get out."
like, did you give him any like,
Why were you
Warning?
jerking off? Were you?
No.
Was it a prank or were you horny?
I used to do things like that, and I realized it's not good to do it.
It was a prank.
No, I do it to show them how crazy I am.
Right, sure.
And I'm I'm a weird comic, and I'm eccentric, and I do weird shit like that. But he told me to get out of the car. I get out, and he just left. He left me in the middle of the freeway, and I walked 5 fucking miles.
I'm kind of Team Trevino here.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you.
And that was my bad. That was my bad.
did you ever do anything like that again?
Steve Renazizzi. I have a story.
It's all Steve's, huh?
Yeah,
What'd you
only
do to
Steve.
Steve?
I only do it for Steve. We were
Steve
doing
would
a
be
gig
into
in Palm
it.
Springs. No, he goes, I was masturbating. He goes, "Why are you doing that?" And I go, "To relax." And he goes, "Well, then listen to some Yanni." That's what he said. I don't do that anymore, by the way. It's not cool.
Good.
Seems good.
Anyway.
If we find a Steve, you'll do it again. Okay, let's do one more call. We're going to call Aislinn in the Bay Area.
It's a good song.
Hi.
Aislinn.
Yes, Aislinn, yeah.
What-
You can also call me Ace, whatever it's easier.
Okay, what kind of name is Aislinn?
It's Gaelic. It means dream or dream poem. My parents were very creative.
Aislinn, you got Natasha Leggero here.
And Moshe Kasher, and also we have some special guests, Bobby Lee and Khalyla.
Nice. I love all you guys.
Okay, awesome. Well, we love you too.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell us what's going on.
I'm about 28, and I'm trying to move out of my parents' place. And I've been dating this guy, Himanshu, who's very sweet and very kind and very loving.
What kind of race is he?
He's Indian.
I love it.
That was Bobby, just so you know.
I love it.
So Himanshu and you have been dating for how long?
Like 2 or 3 months.
Okay,
Mm.
So
keep
not
talking.
very long.
No.
But like we dropped like big L words where we have these like strong, intense feelings, and we both think it might be a good idea to move in together. But I'm not sure if it's too soon.
It's too
Especially
soon.
like I do like him a lot. It's not like I dislike the
It's
guy.
too soon.
Why are your
But-
parents putting pressure on you? It's not like it's the
She's
turn of the
28
century.
years old.
Is that old?
Yeah.
To be living with your parents, you don't think?
Oh, she lives with her parents?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong because for years, I asked my parents for money, right?
But you're also the guy that jerked off in front of 2 friends.
Oh, that's right.
I give them money and I work 2 jobs. So I'm doing a lot, but it's also like the Bay Area is just stupid expensive.
Yeah.
So like everywhere I look at, like I go on Craigslist every other day, and it's like even finding like a bedroom in somebody's house is like $1,500 to like $1,600.
Wow.
So it's just kind of like, and that's not even. I think that's like over 40% of what I make. So it's kind of like at a certain point, like it just becomes more financially reasonable to move in with somebody, but it's also like I know this person and I definitely adore him, but I don't know this person.
If you weren't living in the Bay Area, like, and money wasn't, I just don't think money is a reason to shack up, really. Unless you're like 19 or 20, like really young and you guys are kind of friends and I don't know, it just feels like the relationship's probably not going to sustain itself.
Also, when you're throwing out the L word that early on, it feels like it's really passionate,
Right.
And they're just, we call it in AA called pink cloud, where you're just like the whole life, there's no problems, and this is the greatest. But that dies down so fast, and then when that hits the wall, what do you have? You'll be living with this guy, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, man? I don't,
Yeah. I mean, we're still in that honeymoon period, so I understand where you're coming from. Like, there's definitely like the fear of like, especially I've moved in with people even where I've been like at a year and I thought everything was perfect and I thought like, oh, this will just make everything more perfect and it goes to shit. So that's like the realistic part of me that's like, oh, like you've gone through this before, bitch, you know this. Like, stop kidding yourself where like suddenly like just because like it feels so great and because you're in a honeymoon period, you should jump for it. But it's also like, oh, it's just frustrating. It's like I feel like I'm backed into a corner. It's like I can either, take a leap of faith with this person that I do adore, or I can possibly be homeless. And it's just like scary and real.
I have an idea. I think you need to talk to your parents and say, listen, I need 6 more months in this relationship, and save your money and just see where you're at. And meanwhile, put out some feelers, because what would be ideal, I think, is to move in with some friends, move into your own situation that's not your parents, and then you guys can still date and see where you're at.
I love this idea. Tell your parents, give me 6 months. Tell Himanshu, if we're together in 6 months, I want to move in with you. Can you stay with your parents for 6 months? Because if you actually love this guy, which, I think everybody on this podcast agrees is very doubtful. If you actually love this guy, then you don't want to ruin it by adding the pressure of becoming his roommate 2 months in. He might be some kind of slob that just sits around playing Red Dead Redemption and takes black shits. Yeah. So you just take your time.
Yeah, the hard part is like I don't have as many friends that have that kind of availability. Like none of them can really afford even like, it's just frustrating. It's everything's so expensive and I make so little. So it's just kind of frustrating to try to find that. But I know what you're talking about.
And you're also in the most expensive city in the world. So, give yourself a break and also maybe think about like moving somewhere else.
Would your parents let you stay for 6 months?
So I've been with them for about a year and they kind of feel like I need to like and I've been looking that whole year at different places and different things, in different situations.
I have a feeling that if you sit down with your parents, who you've only been with for a year, so you're still getting to know them as well, that if you sit down with your parents and you say, I understand I've been here for too long, I would like 6 more months because I'm thinking about moving in with a guy that I met 2 months ago, and I'm not sure that's the best idea, that they'll give you that extension.
That's the best advice. That's very good.
And they've wanted me to have more of a general plan. So that might be the better approach, especially talking to them from a kind of like, look, we live in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Like, you can't expect me to just be able to like...
You don't have to phrase it like you can't expect me either. Just like plead with them and ask them and say, I appreciate how generous you've been and I really want to make the right decision. And I think they might appreciate that you have a plan, because probably their whole problem is that like you're not figuring out what you're going to do with your life.
Yeah, and if you really love this guy...
Yeah, I've been thinking about moving to different cities, like especially Seattle or Chicago, but then that would put even bigger distance, and not to like base my life on a guy, but like also to like the move, because I have 2 cats, would be a lot for me to like try to move across country with 2 cats. So it's just like...
Well, that
whole debate of kind of like what is the best thing for me.
I think the best thing for you is to ask your parents if you can stay for 6 months and see if Himanshu sticks around that long. And if he does, you guys get yourself an apartment.
Right. Maybe this will prove that to them. Well, I'll be able to be like, look, I talked to a whole panel of people.
Yeah, you could play him this podcast, and then we can cut out some of the dead air, and then it'll be snappy and punchy and give you exactly what you need to convince your parents to let you stay longer.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not an ideal, like I'm not trying to stay with them. It's the really frustrating thing is I want to be an independent person. I want to be out there in the world, and I hope they understand that. Like, it's not like I want to be in the situation. It's just the economics of everything, and especially where I live, it's just insane. I don't understand it.
Ace, I was broke
until the age of 30.
Me too.
Dude, I had
too.
no money, no career, anything. And then 30 hit and Papa started working. You know what I mean? So you're still very young and just don't worry about it. Just I think that advice that they gave you is so good.
So yeah, do it, Ace. Your ace is in all of our book. Good luck out there. We know that the economics of the Bay Area are tough, but love is worth waiting for. Good luck, Ace.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, especially coming from you guys.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you. We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
We
Well,
should let them go.
yeah. Let's let our guests go. This has been
But
honestly,
I feel like
Loved
this
it.
is the beginning of a new adventure with us.
I would like that.
And
Let's all go on vacation.
Yeah, let's not. I think we should have some cameras and go on a vacation and film everything.
I can't believe you guys have been to the Philippines so many times.
Oh, we love it there. Have you been there?
No,
No.
we'll
You
come.
would fucking love
Invite
it.
us.
We
We'll
want
come.
You'd love it.
I
And
do a-
you know, it's one of the few places where it's very easy to travel with a child.
Yeah.
Everyone is very maternal. Everyone's always willing to help when someone has a kid. You can just pass your kid to anybody. Everyone's happy, which isn't the case for a lot of countries, I hear. It's difficult, but it's really easy to travel with children there.
Well, listen, I feel like, we were talking about you're in my love, but like I feel like I can taste when, I don't know about Hamanchu and Ace, but I can taste when love is like a real positive, good thing. And I can feel that vibrating off of both
And
you
God
guys.
bless you and
Oh,
take
thank
care.
you.
What do you think of that?
Yeah. Well,
God bless you and take care.
God bless you and take care of you.
Yeah.
May you find all of the grandma's coffee cakes that you need in life, Bobby.
When's the last time you went to a meeting?
Oh, God damn. This is a bad
It's been
10
years for me.
It's been years for me, too. I haven't been in years.
I know. Are you still sober?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you sober?
I
She doesn't drink at
rarely
all.
drink.
Doesn't do anything.
Maybe like 4 times. Are you sober, Natasha?
She's
No,
drinking
I have
wine
a
right
bottle
now.
of wine right here.
We got to talk about recovery one day.
Okay, bring me on your podcast. We'll talk about
100%.
it. Oh, come on.
And is recovery cool with having 7 vapes in your pocket?
I'm not sure it's completely connected, but it's close. Bobby,
I love
Khalyla,
you.
thank
you
you
guys
for
so
coming on.
much.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Guys.